But first tonight, to one survivor's act of defiance against the Yorkshire Ripper 30 years after he tried to murder her.
Maureen Lee was one of the few women Sutcliffe attacked during his long reign of terror who survived to tell the tale, but only now has she felt confident enough to brave the cameras for the first time.
For Maureen, or Mo to her friends, the last 3 decades have been a journey through despair and depression. Now she's decided she won't let the Ripper cast a shadow over her life any longer. She's working to help other victims of crime get through their own ordeals.
John Hill has this calendar exclusive.
I'm really lucky to be here. He hit me over the head with a hammer. He put 2 screwdrivers to the back of the base of my spine. You don't really want to tell the person that you're living with that you're having a nightmare about Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, coming to finish you off.
For 30 years, Mo Lee has been haunted by the memories of the night she was nearly killed. She, most experts who've studied the case, and a senior officer who re-investigated the attack believe her assailant was Peter Sutcliffe. October the 25th, 1980 was the day before Mo's 21st birthday. She'd spent the evening with friends in Headingley and was on her way home near Leeds University.
This voice came out from behind me to the right of the road, and it was very friendly. Hey, you know, I was like, oh, maybe it's someone from the pub who wants to know the way, or someone from a friend or somebody, because, you know, I knew lots of people around the university. So I turned round and he started chatting, and I realised I didn't recognise him at all. And I noticed that his jacket was bulging and he was holding himself strangely. And in the end I thought, time waster, you know, whatever, see you later, and started to walk away, and then panicked. I thought, this isn't right, this is really not right. So I started to run, and then my legs started to turn to jelly and the adrenaline kicked in, and I ran really, really fast. And after a while I could hear these footsteps behind me, getting faster and faster and faster, and just sheer terror in my body. I was just absolutely, really terrified. And I just had this whack to the top of my head, and I just saw the ground come right up towards me, and then I was unconscious. I'm really lucky to be here. He hit me over the head with a hammer. He put 2 screwdrivers to the back of the base of my spine, just missed my spinal cord. Smashed me again on the side of the head. My cheekbone was fractured, my skull was fractured, my jaw was completely broken open, and I lay in a pool of blood in the gutter. And I think he was going to have his final blow when a passerby at the end of Woodhouse Road turned round, and he saw her and decided to run it.
3 weeks later, just a couple of miles from where Mo had been attacked, the Ripper struck again, killing Leeds student Jacqueline Hill. 2 doctors told Mo her injuries were like those of the Ripper's victims, but police didn't connect the cases, and Mo was too traumatised herself to press for the cases to be linked.
If they'd listened to me, and sat me down and, you know, really got me to talk, that could have been prevented. And I do feel responsible, but it was devastating when Jacqueline Hill was murdered.
This is Mo's art from the time.
I just thought, well, if I draw a picture of how I suffered, then perhaps the person who did this to me could feel the same.
4 months after the attack on Mo, Sutcliffe was finally arrested. Within a matter of months, he was rushed through the court process and sentenced to 30 years.
Well, he wasn't convicted for what he did to me. So he got off scot-free with what he did to me.
For years, Mo was in denial about what had happened, but she's now using her art to create a positive. 50% of the profits from her artwork, cards, prints and the like will go to the charity Victim Support to help other people who are the victims of crime.
Has he broken you?
No way. Never ever broke me. Never ever broke me. I might have had some terrible nightmares. I might have, you know, I'm diagnosed with long-term post-traumatic stress. But he never broke me. He broke my jaw, he broke my skull. He didn't break me. No way. Gave me energy. Gave me the energy to sit here now and bring some beauty and light into the story.
Mo Lee speaking to John Hill, and you can see an extended interview with Mo on our website. You just go to www.itv.com/Yorkshire. Well, earlier I spoke to Paul Fawcett from Victim Support, and I began by asking him how difficult it would have been for Mo to turn her life around.
I think it's almost unimaginable to think what it must be like not only to have suffered an attack like that as a young woman, and then to live with the mystery of who might have done it for a very long time, and then to realise as information gets pieced together that one of the most notorious serial killers this country's ever had was responsible for that attack. It must have been traumatising and traumatising again.
I mean, is it possible to sort of comprehend the type of emotions that she will have gone through over the last 30 or so years?
I think the only person who knows how this feels is Mo. I think we know at Victim Support, from helping in the region of 1.5 million victims every year, that people are very, very different in how they respond. Some people are remarkably tough, who deal with the most unimaginably horrific crimes and come out fighting like Mo has done. Other people can be literally devastated by a small crime that you or I might think is nothing, a bag snatch, or a low-level burglary can equally leave somebody devastated. It really depends on the person and their personal qualities and how much of a coper they are within themselves.
But somebody like Mo, who has been through something so traumatic, she's proving, though, to be an inspiration, isn't she, to other victims of crime?
She is indeed, and that's where, as a charity, we can really benefit from people like Mo who are prepared to talk about what they've been through, because most people will have some experience of crime in their lives, usually fairly minor, something that people will get over quite quickly. It's hard for most of us to think about how devastating it must be to go through a really, really serious violent attack like that. You don't want to think about it in most cases, and that makes it hard for us as a charity to reach out and say that we need support, we need funds, we need volunteers, because people like to put those issues out of their mind. So when somebody like Mo is prepared to speak out and describe firsthand what it feels like, we find as a charity it helps get people motivated to get involved.
Paul, we really appreciate your time this evening. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.